Hey guys, it's Alan. I'm going to do a quick 5,000 mile review on my 2022 Kia Niro EV. So as you can see, it's a beautiful car. Still love the color. That sound that you hear is the car preconditioning. From the outside you can see that I catch a lot of bugs. I live out in the country, so whenever it's evening the bugs are out in full force. And one of the things that stands out from driving a white car is obviously the dirt, and I do need to get this washed. The dealership I bought it for actually gave me a discount code. One of the things that my wife noticed is that there's some tar on the from the streets that jumps up onto the car, and I didn't get any kind of special protection on this car, so it is just something that she noticed that in the future we need to think about if we're going to be getting any other white cars. As you guys know, I like driving black cars, but this one is available. I also like white cars, especially this one is like that pearl white color that sparkles in the sun. One other thing that has come up, I don't know why this always happens to me, but my right rear tire got a puncture almost immediately. And I have one of those temporary rubber plugs in there. I've used those before and they can last for thousands of miles. These are $175 Michelin tires, and I didn't want to replace it with like 2,000 miles on it. So I'm gonna ride that for as long as I can. It doesn't feel unsafe or anything like that. I'm comfortable with it. I know some people think it's unsafe, but I've got punctures before and cars stayed in control, so not super concerned. So let's take a look at the trunk. Sorry for the wind. This is the trunk space. It's adequate. It's big enough for me. There is space underneath for storage, and then I always keep that pump with me in case I need it, which unfortunately I did. And then let's take a look at the back seat area. So I can use that to unlock the car. Oops, I locked it. Back seat room is really nice, and there's a car seat that we use sometimes, and plenty of room back here. So one of the things that you can see when looking at that monitor is a lot of fingerprints, and I actually dusted that area up there before and it caused scratches almost immediately. So that is the only time that I have dusted it, just because I don't want it to get all scratched and scuffed up and whatnot. And I'm gonna get a cover for the screen itself, but even this piano black around the screen, when you try to dust it, it scratches it, so I'm not sure what to do about that. And same with that piano black around there, you can actually see some of the scratches despite the fact that I've not dusted it. And so let's go around and go to the front seats. And so there up close you can see a lot more of the dirt, and also the fingerprints. There's no way of really closing that without touching the car and getting all of those fingerprints back there. You can kind of see the pearl white paint from up close. It looks really beautiful in person. Then I'm gonna go ahead and start the car and turn on the AC, because it is 85 degrees in the Twin Cities right now and getting hotter. The car's in the sun, so you can see it says 91 degrees. And if you look at the EV screen, you can see it's at 81%. I only charge this car up to 90% because I don't need the range, and even at 81% it's still estimating 249 miles of range, which is accurate. You can see there I've got 5,128 miles. One of my favorite features of this car is the lane keep assist and cruise control. And with lane keep assist, when that little steering wheel right there turns green, then the car will follow the street, and it does a pretty good job of it. And usually I have lane keep assist and cruise control both on at the same time, and it does a good enough job of following the street, and it blinks a few times to let you know when it's going to disengage so that you can have your hands on the steering wheel. I really like the feel of the wheel. One of the things that is slightly uncomfortable is this beautiful white stitching. I usually have my hand like that or around this area and try to avoid touching the stitching because it's pretty hard and rough. Another concern I have with the stitching is that it will eventually get dirty and it will become brown and ugly. Otherwise, I like the steering wheel. It's very comfortable. There's the horn. It's a much better horn than I had in the Nissan Leaf. The Nissan Leaf horn was a cute little horn thing that did not intimidate anybody into moving out of your way or even noticing you. When I'm driving, I'm usually driving with the screen on. It tells me how many miles I've driven in a particular trip and how long I've been driving and the average miles per kilowatt hour. hour. I usually look at my tire pressure, and you need to drive in order for it to be able to calculate the tire pressure. You can see it's 231 miles with the AC on, 250 with the AC off, and the more you drive, the more those numbers can. Another feature that I really like about the car is the blind spot monitoring. So it's on right there. That's lane keep assist. You can kind of see it in the mirror, but that'll turn on, and it will also make a whole lot of noise if you try to change lanes at the same time that there's a car in your blind spot. Then here's a closer look at the piano black. You can see how kind of dirty it gets. And then 2 cup holders in here, and you can actually retract these cup holders and just have large storage space in there, and that closes all the way. Another thing that I like is there's a gap here, so usually I'm gonna have my phone sitting right there, and then Android Auto will come on when it's plugged in, and then I can hide that cable when I don't need it. Then there's some more storage right there. Really cool car. I really like driving it. Cloth seats. So it's got leather trim and cloth seats. The seats are very comfortable. I like them. My wife likes them a lot. This car is just nice enough that it doesn't make sense to trade in a car that we paid $33,000 for a $55,000 car. The one caveat to that is we would get another $7,500 discount if we bought the Polestar. So it would be more of like a $40-some-thousand car. Right now it's still not worth it for us. One of the reasons for that is you can see we're still in our old house. The housing market has completely frozen up, and so we've had to significantly reduce the price of our house, so it doesn't make sense for us to going into a premium car when we've had to basically give up a whole bunch of money. Hopefully we'll be able to sell this house soon so that we can move into our house with acreage. And here's a view of the back seats. So overall, I like everything about this car, and if I press that drive mode button right there, it can go into sport mode, and this car is very quick in sport mode. This all feels very good. This is leather right here. These plastics are comfortable. The sound system on this car is really good, actually. So there's really nothing that I dislike about this car. I had thought that it would maybe be a temporary car for us. I'm thinking that we're going to keep it. I still have the reservation for the Silverado EV, and my wife is also still interested in the Silverado. If we have the opportunity to get one of those pickups when they become available, then we will. Another thing, these are all bugs that you see in the windshield. I need to clean that out, but this car catches so many bugs. It's really incredible. So anyway, that's a quick 5,000 mile review. Great car. There isn't really anything that I would change about it. There is a trim that comes with full leather and some other features. I'm not sure exactly what features those are, but this car is plenty comfortable. For me, I wouldn't pay an extra $5,000 just to get leather seats. A couple of important things I forgot to mention about this car, guys. The ride quality is really good. It's a very quiet, comfortable car to drive, and the build quality of it is really good. So good, in fact, that when I turn on the Uber app, it gives me the option to do comfort rides. So that's usually reserved for luxury cars. Teslas would be in comfort. If you were driving a BMW or an Audi, it would qualify for comfort. This car also qualifies for comfort. So it's a real nice car, very easy and smooth to drive, very quiet, good sound. As an owner, I am very happy with this car, and there's really nothing that I would do to improve it aside from maybe make it slightly larger, but that's a whole nother thing. We recently test drove a Model Y Performance, and you can watch that review by clicking the button here.